Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers. This is Annie 235, and we are on Module 11. We're going to be creating character blend shapes in this module. Alright, so I've got my character here that I'm showcasing, and I'm going to be rigging that character. And we're going to create blend shapes first. So the first step is to go ahead for Module 11 is we'll talk about blend shapes and what they exactly are and how to use them. And it's not just about creating facial shapes to create lip sync animations, but for expressions as well. So we're going to go through that. It's pretty fun. This is going to be a really fun module. We're getting away from the texturing now. You should have your character modeled and completely textured and in the T-pose. So we're going to take you through how to kind of prep your model, what you need to do, and make sure that you understand some of the do's and don'ts about blend shapes. But right now, let's just go through the assignment. So you're going to create 6 target shapes, okay? And we're just going to focus on facial expressions, okay? So you have a choice, and I'm going to take you through how I went about doing everything, and then you can take that and move with it or not do it. But you have to have 6, okay? So we're going to create 6 blend shapes with our target shapes. You're gonna learn about new tools to use or old tools, and you're going to be using sculpting tools. So there's a lot of tools you're going to be creating and making that will help you create these blend shapes. And you're going to want to take screenshots of each blend shape expression, okay? Each one separately, full face. So you're going to be giving me this, but also I want you to create just a screenshot of each one. Okay, so if you have different blend shapes, I'll need to have full screenshots of those. Just screenshots, you don't have to render them. And then I want you to put together the original and then the target shapes next to it. And we'll take you through that too as well. But so you're going to create 6 target shapes and more if you want, okay? And basically we're going to eventually render those out in Arnold. Okay, this is our Arnold rendering. It has the textures on there. And with this one, I didn't do a lot of skin pores and all that, the real small details. I just kept it very simple. And if you've already done that, that's fine. What you're going to do is you're going to, and this won't mess anything up, you'll have to cut the head, or basically leave the head and the whole body if you want to, and just duplicate it over and just focus on the face, okay? That's really entirely up to you. I chose to extract those faces from the head, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's what we're going to be creating. You're going to be creating 6 blend shape expressions, okay? And so just to kind of explain what I did here is I created 24 target shapes, okay? So the target shapes and basically encompass groups. So I created several groups. I created 3 specific groups. One for the eyelid, going down, right, the right side going down, the left side going down, them both going down, and then having the eyelid go down a little bit on both sides, down a little bit on one side, down a little bit on the other side, like a wince, okay? And those are the groups that I created. So I did the eye groups first, and then I did the eyebrow groups. These are down here, and then I did the mouth shapes, and I have 12 mouth shapes. As you can see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have 2 rows. So basically, this is the mouth shapes. So I've got 3 groups, and I'll show you how to put those together. But and that takes a lot longer to do, but this gives you a lot more flexibility when you're creating your character expressions. Okay. Otherwise, you're going to be creating. You're going to select this, and you're going to duplicate it over the original, and you're going to go ahead and sculpt and get your shapes, and you're going to have to tie in your eyebrows, your mouth, your eyes, what they look like, and that's fine, into just one shape. So you'll have an expression in that one shape. What I wanted to do, I wanted to give myself a little more, just a little more flexibility, and created all my eyebrow shapes separate. Okay, so I just did an eyebrow shape that went down, and then I did the other side down. I did one up, and then the other side up, and then kind of more of a confusion, one eyebrow up a little bit and the other one eyebrow up a little bit. So these are, and you can follow what I've done if you'd like to, the way I did it. And what you want to do though is you want to do one target shape to make sure they're working. Okay, so you can see that I did a very, very quick teeth and tongue, very low poly. For this character, and some of the shapes you need to have the teeth because the mouth's open, so that's something you're going to probably need to do. And what you'll do is you'll select the object, and I'll show you what I did. Was you have to combine everything together. You leave the hair and the eyes out, okay, when you're doing these. So I just want to talk about groups and how I group those together, and we'll talk more about that. But I talk about what I did for the groups, how I grouped them together, and you can see that, and I've talked a little bit about that already. And then we go through the usual stuff that you see all the time, and then we've got the lesson content lecture, which is about human expressions. What makes people so expressive is not, we talk more about acting when we think about expressions, that you're acting things out. And you can look at what I found on the internet. Okay, obviously there's things you can't do, like this one here with the tongue sticking out, because we need to actually have it rigged for that. But you can do a surprise, and these are some other expressions that you see here. I just went online, and you can do this research yourself too as well, or you can just look in the mirror and do all your expressions. Okay. But I need you to show me which ones that you are doing. Okay, I need to know what you're going for. And if you don't want to do any of this stuff, you can go all the way down here. I want you to read all this though. But you can go all the way to the end, and you can just use mine. Okay, and pick 6 out of here. Okay. So you could do a blend shape of angry, blend shape of sheepish, blend shape of surprise, blend shape of happy, disgust, and wonder or sadness. It's your choice. You have a choice of 6. Okay, so you can choose the ones right here. You can right click over it and save image as, and you've got it, and pull it on your computer, and you're ready to go. And that's how fast you can do it, because I'll take 6. Okay. Alright, so let's go back. Alright, so once you go through expressions and you find the ones that you want to actually do, then, and they have to be different. They can't be even close to being the same. Okay, we really want them to be different. Okay, and you'll have to, if you don't actually use mine, and you're going to be turning in, so you're going to have to turn in a sheet, kind of a mood sheet, if you will, of what you're doing. And I need you, and wherever you find those images, whether it be you, and you can take a selfie of yourself doing these expressions, or you can just download these, save image as, right click over it and download these, or find your own. But I want you to cut it out, create a little mood board, and tell me which expression you're doing. Okay, so I can grade you properly. If you don't give that to me, then I'm going to have to guess, and that's not good when I'm grading. You don't want me to be guessing what expression you're doing. I want to be pretty clear on what you're doing. Okay, so make sure you're clear and do a mood board of some kind, and put it together and give it to me as a JPEG with your when you turn things in. So what are blend shapes? They're basically blend shapes in general. If you just look up here at what I have here, blend shapes are just basically this, and I think I've already probably explained it pretty good already, is that you'll duplicate your original, okay, basically your default face, okay, which is what you modeled. And it could be the face and the entire body if you want it to be, but for this example, I just the basic head I cut off. And I would recommend that if you have an open shirt, that you would make sure if you do cut just the neck and part out, you want to have that object as well. Or you can do the entire whatever body part you have for UVs and stuff, you can have that and just duplicate it over. But anyway, that's here nor there, however you want to do it. The idea is you duplicate the original and move it over. And let's just say we have an expression. This is our expression here, okay? And if it was scared, I'd have the eyebrows up higher. But you can see that I do have the eyebrows up higher, but I'm going to, these blend shapes allow me to create groups too as well, instead of just doing each expression. Now you have the choice of doing each expression, but what is a blend shape? It just allows you to blend different shapes together. That's what it does. It allows you to duplicate. You can call it morphing too if you want to. You can morph one object into another. It's the same thing as blending two objects together. And the cool thing is with creating blend shapes, you can create 100 blend shapes of different pieces, and you've seen this too in stop motion, where they will basically model out of clay, or 3D print. Now that's what they're doing now for stop motion, is 3D printing these heads and placing them on the character with all these different shapes. And blend shapes in CG allow us to blend between them, which is super cool. And I'll give you an example here pretty soon. So once you go through my lecture, okay, what are blend shapes and how do you create different blend shapes? You can create blend shapes using one base object. You can do that by following that. You can blend using multiple target objects, and this is an example of that right here. This is multiple targets. That's how I do it. So I'm going to be focusing on that, and most people do. But you can look at your choices, okay, and choose what best works for you. And base target and blend shapes, you can see how it all works, okay. And then you can paint blend shape weights, and there's a little tutorial on that as well. I got this right off the Autodesk website. And then blend shape nodes and attributes. And then I've got the shape editor, which is really important. This is the once you have all your blend shapes created, this is how you can control it with the blend shape editor. Okay, and our quiz will be over the blend shape editor. Okay? So just understand that the quiz will be over the blend shape editor. Okay, so and then we have the blend shape editor menu commands. I think I've got everything in here about blend shapes. And then the course assignment, you know that you have to create 6 facial expressions, blend shapes. Okay. And here are the video tutorials. These are great video tutorials. Just remember that when creating blend shapes, you cannot change the vertex count. You cannot delete vertices or add vertices. Okay. Rotating vertices don't really work as well. They're not going to work as expected. It understands linear, doesn't understand rotational values, so be careful when you try to rotate vertices to get them to do what you want. I prefer that you sculpt these, move these vertices instead of rotating vertices. Try to remember that. rotating vertices don't really work that well. Always duplicate the original and move it over. Do not duplicate a duplicate. Okay? You can run into issues with that. Alright? So please don't do that. And once you get to the point of your object is modeled and textured, you need to delete the history and freeze transformations before you start doing blend shapes. The minute we start doing blend shapes and we start rigging, you can't delete by type history anymore, and you can't freeze transformations anymore. So make sure you understand. Make sure you understand that. So here are those two videos. You need to watch these. Watch these. You'll start with this one and you'll end up with this one. This one's a lot more involved. It's about an hour long. So give yourself time to watch those. Okay? And then watch them again, and then go ahead and just kind of follow along on how you do that. And then when you're done with all that, I congratulate you. You're finished with everything. And then I just need you to put it all together for me. And I need you to turn in your blend shapes, each one at a time. And then I need a these are my groups. Okay, you can see these are my eye groups. These are my eyebrow groups, and this is my my mouth groups that I have. Okay, so you can see I put those in different groups. Okay, and extra credit. Yes, I've got extra credit this time. Extra credit is worth 10 points, and all you have to do is and basically what you'll do is you'll do all of these that you see here. Or if you don't want to do the ones you see here, you'll have to just add 2 to the 6 you have. So I want you to create 8 instead of 6. And you can get 10 extra credit points for creating 2 more. Okay? And 2 more of your choice. Okay? Basically, I know I'm telling you to do the 8 that I do here. As long as you do 2 more that are different than the ones you have, I'm good. But if you want to just follow and do everything that I've got here, and what you're going to do is you're going to place it in the extra credit folder that you see right here. Optional extra credit. So you'll be placing it there. Alright. So real quickly, I'll give you an example of kind of how everything works. So I'm in Maya right here. So you will, if you're gonna create teeth, make sure that it's all one mesh, and it's basically this mesh, and the teeth are in there. You just can't see them because the mouth's not open. They're all the tongue and the mouth. If you're gonna do all that, you don't have to. Again, this is something that I did myself. And so you can see the inside of the mouth. Let me see if I can get it a little bit further here. And get down a little. There we go. So here's my gums and my teeth. I did very simple teeth and a tongue. Okay. Alright, so you can see what I've done there. Alright. Alright. When you add teeth and tongue, it becomes very difficult to sculpt and separate everything. So just understand that. Okay. When you're doing that. And I'm not too worried. And if you want to, you can nix the teeth, and you can just do the blend shapes, and you can add the teeth later. But you can't add it as a morph target or a blend shape. It won't really work. You can just have it separate if you want to show me what the blend shape would look like with the teeth. Okay, if you don't want to do all that work, but you'll have to, if you want the blend shapes to actually work, you have to duplicate. So you basically Control D, and what I would do is I would have the grid snap on. So make sure you turn that on. Control D, and you're going to want to go ahead and move it over. Okay, and I got the grid snap pretty high, and just turn that grid snap, and I should have it on feet, not centimeters. Foot. There we go. Yeah, it's better. So now there we go. That's working better. Okay, so the grid snap on, and make sure you snap it over. And it's not lining up very good, but you can get the idea. And I can move it up a little bit like that. And so that's what I would recommend. And that's going to be your first, and you can go ahead and that's going to be, you can go in there and sculpt and move those vertices around. Make sure you move the vertices around. Okay, and that's how you can do. You can see you don't want to move them one by one. That's just crazy. So you're going to want to go and use your tools, and you're going to want to use your soft selection tool, okay, for that. And so you guys know how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, make sure you watch a video on how to use the soft selection tool, and that's how you can move things around. And the sculpting tools as well. You can use the sculpting tool. And the videos that are in, that I found they go through all those tools that you need to move things around. Okay, I'm just showing you how to do this, how to duplicate. You want to duplicate the original, not duplicate the duplicate. So if you have one and you want to just duplicate that over, that won't work. Okay, it has all kinds of issues. Okay, I'm going to delete that. So once you get that done, you want to test it. So you want to get one of your, spend time, maybe a couple hours getting one expression completely done, maybe yell or screaming or whatever, anger, happy, that kind of thing. You'll want to take it and you want to now check the blend shape and see if it works. So I'm going to select that one, click on that one. So you always want to select the target first and then the original, and then we can go into deform and click on create blend shape. You can go into the option box if you want to and just reset it. And do you want to delete the target? No, I don't want to delete the target, so I don't want to, so I make sure that's unchecked and click on create. And then when you want to check it to see if it works, it's pretty cool. You can go into Windows and animation editors and shape editor, and you can see that I have mine, it's done. So you can see that. Look at that. Before it had nothing, and you can see it's blending. What it's doing is it's blending from this to this. Okay? Alright, very, very cool. So if once you get it working, you can just go back in here and just go Control Z back. There we go. Okay, and it's working. And then what you'll do is you'll do all your, if you do what I did, do all your eyes first, your eyelids first. You can see how I'm doing this. Starting, and this is a group. Okay, I'm going to do my group here, so I'll show you how this all works. And go in here to a deform and then blend shape. I've already got it set up for myself, so I'm going to do that. And there's one group. Okay, and then let's say I do all my mouths, so I'm going to go click on all my mouth groups. And you notice that I renamed these. Okay, so I'm going to go Control A. You can see that I have renamed Blink. Okay, I've renamed that Blink L. Okay. And you can rename them once they're all done too if you want to. So here's a group here. There we go. And then that's my next group, and I'm gonna select the head holding down the shift key. That's gonna be the last one. And I'm gonna go into this group, and this is going to be blend shapes. Okay. Give it time to let it go through creating blend shape. And then I've got my eyebrows. So here's my eyebrows. Here we go. And shift select this guy right here, and this is how easy it is once you get the hard part is getting them all sculpted, getting them all ready. So deform and then blend shape. So I've already done that, so now what we need to do is check everything out. Let's go in here, and once you do this, I would highly recommend, before you do any, create any blend shapes, before you do this, make sure if you get all of this done, all of this work, you save your work. Save it as a sequence as you're doing it. So if you do 6 of them and then save it as a sequence, because it may take you a couple hours. So if you take a couple hours, you should be saving your scene all the time with that blend shape. I would not delete your blend shapes. You can always put them in a layer, right, and get rid of them. But you never want to delete them, so don't do that. Don't delete your blend shapes, because that's something I would not recommend you doing. And save your work, your scenes all the time, and save them as a sequence. Okay. So I would highly recommend doing one at a time, making sure that it works before you move on. And do not duplicate a duplicate. Always duplicate the original and then move it over. And I would move it over with the grid snap and make sure you're in feet. Okay? So with that said, now let's check it all out. Let's get this focused on here. And this is the exciting fun part. That we go to Windows, Animation Editor, Shape Editor, and you can see all of my blend shapes now. You can see this is my eyelids, so I can type in eyelids, and I've got my my mouth shapes. Okay. All right, awesome, mouth shapes. And then my eyebrows. Okay, so now I can go in here and select one of them and go ahead and see if it's working, if they're all working. There we go. You can see they're all working. So before you do any blend shapes, I would save your scene out, and I wouldn't touch that scene, and then come back to it if you need to, if you make a mistake, like I did with my wincing. I think there's like a wince in here that's focused on here that I need to figure out. It's that one right here, the original. I've got a wince in here, so I need to take that out. I think I fixed it in my final thing that I did with the blend shapes. But that's how you do it, and that's how you can keep yourself from getting in trouble too. You can create groups and a lot more. Basically, do any combination that you want, or you can just incorporate the entire expression into one blend shape, and like this would be happy, this would be sad, this would be angry, you know, and so on and so forth, and just have 6. For extra credit, you need to do 2 more, and they need to be totally different. And the thing is, if you do groups and more blend shapes that are just grouped together, you can do a lot more really fun stuff. And you can create your expressions. You can create a lot more than just 8 with these, and depending on how far you go with the stuff. Okay, so you have a choice of doing, you know, the 6 or doing more. Okay, and then creating 6 out of those. Okay, all right. Or you can just go ahead and go for each one will represent, you know, anger, happiness, sadness, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's it. So good luck, and I'll see you guys in Module 12.